Hey guys, thank you for joining me on my very first episode of our NBA game recap. My name is Vinny, and today we're going to be talking about the Nets versus Denver Nuggets game that happened last night. Now, I must start off by saying I am a Nets fan. If you couldn't tell by the tone of my voice, of course. The first time I watched a Nets game was probably about 2018 season when we still had D'Angelo Russell, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, those guys. So pretty much what we're going to be talking about today is the first ever video I'm going to make is about this game. Because now what happened was last night, you want to talk about someone who steals the show, quote unquote, it's Blake Griffin. And let me tell you exactly why. For his entire career, Blake Griffin's been one of those players that's like, whatever team he's on, he's going to give you points. There's no question. He's going to give you points. Now, I don't know why Steve Nash thinks it's a good idea to put this man at center. I mean, we have Jeff Green, who's pretty much a Swiss Army knife when it comes to defense. You can put that man at the 4 and the 5, and he'll be able to make blocks. Honestly, you can probably put him at the 3, too, and he wouldn't be too bad. Now, I can understand putting anybody, and I mean anybody, over DeAndre Jordan. This dude has not been it this season. And anytime we put him up, he's just a complete mismatch. Especially up against someone like Nikola Jokic, he's the MVP this season. Like, before James Harden was injured, it was James Harden, but now without question, it's Nikola Jokic. I mean, this dude is just insane. If you want to talk about someone who's clearly MVP, this is just no question. He's averaging 26 points per game, 64% true shooting, 86% from the free throw, I feel like the free throw percentages in players are so underrated. When you have players who are good with free throws, they just grind those points up. Free throws can really make or break, because anytime a player gets to the line and they're just knocking down those free throws, that's point, like, especially with a player like Jokic, who's just incredible at drawing fouls. One of the best I've ever seen. Of course, 8.5 assists per game, 10.8 rebounds per game. Nikola Jokic is just a walking bucket. But back to the Nets, of course. I gotta talk about my man, the myth, the legend, Tyler Johnson. No, I'm kidding. It's Kevin Durant. Without question, it's Kevin Durant. And people have been saying lately, KD's not clutch. I've never seen this man. I have seen this man perform some great defense before, but last night he was just on point. After the halftime, I'll say everybody was great at defense. And I think, to be quite honest, out of the big three, Kevin Durant is the best scorer. Like, individually, out of KD, Kyrie, James Harden, he's the best individual scorer. But look, Kyrie's been putting up some good points. Let me just back up real quick. Kyrie Irving is averaging 27 points per game, 92% from a free throw, 61% true shooting, 50% from the field. The only thing that's off is his three-pointer. It's 39%, which isn't great, but all of his other stats clearly make up for it. And Blake Griffin, I'm going to go back to Blake Griffin really quick, because Blake Griffin, 4 of 6 from the 3. Just 20 points per game, most points is a net so far. The Pistons really did this man dirty. Steve Nash came in and said, join us. Mike D'Antoni said, join us, Blake. The GOAT, Sean Marks, the man himself. I can't even call him a man. He's just a basketball wizard. Said, Blake Griffin, come to us. And you know what he does? This man comes in and plays defense. We don't even need him to score points. He just comes in and he plays really good defense. And I knew from the set that he blocked that shot from Bradley Beal in the Wizards-Nets game, which I was at. That was like an insane thing to watch live. That I knew instantly our defense improved. Just instantly. Now I want to go back to the center position for the Nets really quick, because a player that really needs to be spotlighted more on this team is Nick Claxton. Now, Nick Claxton is not a walking bucket, but this is what he really excels at. He excels at protecting the rim, blocking shots. He was on Jokic pretty well. Jokic was just guarded very well last night in general. I think I really got to hand it to our defense last night. First half of the game, holy shit. I think just both ends of the floor, we just did not know how to facilitate any kind of defense. Look, we have good defenders. Bruce Brown's a good defender. Jeff Green's great. Nick Claxton, of course. Kyrie's defense is not to be mistaken either. His defense is solid. I feel like people overlook him because of his scoring and okay. I hate the stigma around Kyrie that he's not a good player. He's never having a good night. That's just not true. People hate on Kyrie a lot, but this man is really just special. Now, let me just go back to our role players really quick. First half of the game, our role players were really just off. Look, I mean, I love Landry Shamet. Dude was 0 of 3 from the 3 tonight, 1 of 4 from the field. Sometimes Landry Shamet gets up there and he'll score 20, 23 points. But last night, and honestly the past few nights, he's been off. And I think what he really needs to focus on more is just getting to the rim. He doesn't need to be making threes every single time, because Landry Shamet, his three-point is 37% and 57% true shooting. Like, he's not a very good shooter, at least lately. His free throw is 85%, but his field 40%. Landry Shamet really needs to just pull up and just shoot, because that's what he's good at. He can make threes, but he should at least be making one if he's going to shoot 3 tonight. He didn't make any. The guy we really need to be our catch and shoot guy, of course, without question, is Joe motherfucking Harris. Buckets. Joey Buckets himself, Joe Harris. Dude is averaging 47% from the 3 at 66% true shooting. It's been a little off lately, but look, Joe Harris comes in, he'll give us 8 points. 2 threes he made. He was 2 of 4, 3 of 6. He had an average game. Only 8 points, but he had 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Joe Harris is a good playmaker as well. Let me just go back to Jeff Green really quick, because Jeff Green, oh my God, Jeff Green. 3 of 4. From the 3. 3 of 4. Jeff Green just gets in that pocket. Once he's wide open, Jeff Green does not miss. So on the Nuggets side of things, Campazzo, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. 3 of 6 from 3. Campazzo is one of those guys that's just, he comes in 57% true shooting, but he's 36% from the 3 and 39% from the field. Just very average, very run-of-the-mill kind of point guard, but still, his contributions to Denver just underrated. He's an underrated player. I think Austin Rivers as well. One of those, the guards, the point guard and the shooting guard for Denver are just not bad, and I gotta hand it to Marcus Howard. Marcus Howard stepped up for the Nuggets tonight. A little bit more than usual, but look, if there's anybody on Denver that we really need to highlight tonight, it's gotta be Michael Porter, man. People have been comparing him to Kevin Durant himself, and look, I can definitely see the comparison. I can definitely see the similarities in their shooting, whatever. But KD and Michael Porter are way different in terms of, I think, facilitating offense. I think Michael Porter lately, and especially the last night, Michael Porter is shooting 66% true shooting, 44% from the 3, and 54% from the field. Very, very good. And I just gotta say, Nikola Jokic, again, MVP caliber season. But he kind of choked last night. Dude was 0 of 5 from the 3 and 10 of 21 from the field. And when those shots mattered, when he was handed the ball in those last few moments of the game, or to be quite honest with you, they looked like easy buckets. They looked like they were going to go right in. Who was there to stop him? Blake Griffin. Who was there to stop him? Jeff Green. Typically, mismatches for the Nets, they just stepped up, man. Blake was on him. He was on him in the second half of the game. Jokic didn't hit any of those shots, and I got to hand it to the Nets. They came back from the 21-point deficit, got the dub in Denver, breaking that 4-game losing streak. Top it all off, I got to give my man Mike James a shout out. Mike James, such a steal for Brooklyn. One of the best players in the EuroLeague. This is his stats right now, right? Mike James is 49% true shooting, 38% from the field, 31% from the 3. Nothing you can really, nothing, his box score isn't going to be anything too crazy. He's averaging 3 assists and only 1 rebound per game, but Mike James, I don't know, it's just his energy. His energy on the court is very interesting to watch. He is fast, he can pass the ball, and he can shoot a little bit. In my opinion, he's Chris Chiozza 2.0. And y'all know Chris Chiozza is one of those players that, well, he isn't fantastic. When he comes in, he has that energy. He's able to facilitate a little bit more offense and, get those guys where they need to be. Because right now, without James Harden, the Nets need someone like Mike James or Chris Chiozza as a backup point guard, because you have Kyrie as a point guard who's a good playmaker. I won't say he's the best, but he's good. He's no James Harden. So they need someone who's a little bit like James Harden. I think Mike James is the closest that we can get to that. So let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.